Hey everybody, I just wanted to say hello and welcome to GlobalSpex. This is a care plan report. Haven't done one in a while, only because my developer, Rebecca, shout out Rebecca, has been doing a fabulous job keeping our customers updated with what's been happening behind the scenes. And I have to say, one thing that people forget about kind of what you get with a care plan is the fact that we are doing so much behind the scenes and being as proactive as we possibly can. I'm going to kind of run through, this is just from our newsletter that we sent out, I believe last week, or I should say the developers team sent out last week, and primarily Rebecca. She broke it down into all the different things that we've been updating and tracking and fixing. And I'm not going to read through this whole thing. If you'd like a copy of this, just let me know, subscribe, and I will send this to you. I highly doubt you'll read it, but really we're just trying to make sure you guys are aware of, again, the behind the scenes work that we are constantly doing that, might not be appreciated as much. So let me just start off. First off was updating Cloudflare firewall rules for WooCommerce. We dedicated a lot of time. We were, managing in great shape, implementing new firewall rules to mitigate malicious activity. And I'll be honest, our own store got hit. It didn't get thrown down. We had enough firewalls and enough security in advance to prevent anything catastrophic. We just noticed a lot of people, mass users being created, and they were testing out credit cards. So obviously we upped even more and the security features, and it just immediately stopped it. And again, luckily nothing happened. But again, I'd rather happen to our website than our clients, but that then mitigated us to go back and up security on everyone else's. So obviously they're finding, loopholes and openings to do these types of things. So we added some more security features, definitely went into your Cloudflare. And if you're not familiar, Cloudflare is a tool that we use that is kind of a gatekeeper between your hosting and your domain. It also disperses images in different servers, so it helps performance as well. It helps your website download much faster. But we use GlobalSpex. We use Cloudflare. We primarily, it's almost a requirement at this point. The beauty about Cloudflare is, again, we can add way more firewalls. We can block whole countries just from a simple dashboard like this. I would also say that it gives our clients the availability to hand off a user account to maybe an IT person, so they don't have to always hand out their domain registration. So I prefer to move it over to Cloudflare where there's some control and you own the domain. Cloudflare manages your DNS. And as you can see on the left, there's so much we can do. We typically set up the free plan, but if we find we're having some more problems, we'll upgrade and we'll add in a lot more firewalls. We'll add more different caching routes, rules, network, traffic, all that stuff that we can do. So this is one of the things that we went back in for WooCommerce to make sure that we had additional, again, I'll say the word again, firewalls, and stop the bad actors from doing bad things to websites. Then we had Wordfence. Wordfence is our go-to tool to track any vulnerabilities. They are monitoring all the plugins, and we get a daily report as to if there's any big issues, if there's any malware that's been found, if there's any issues with a plugin that looks like it hasn't been updated, or maybe there's a hole, and I'll show you what that looks like here. I'll be hiding URLs on the left here, but you can see that there's a few vulnerability scans. You can see it was scanned today, and so we're constantly double checking what that looks like, and you can see it's always just running through here. Vulnerability scans and malware scans, sometimes they're false positives, and what we have to do is just double check where is that coming from. Usually it could be a comment spam that they've inserted into like a comment somewhere, and we'll go find it, or we'll just remove the comment completely. Sometimes it could be inserted somehow into the HTML. So again, that's priority number one. You can see highest severity, and we immediately go in there and double check these. And sometimes it's just a quick update to a plugin because the developer of the plugin has already released an update, and all we need to do is go back and update everybody's plugin quickly, and then all of a sudden this gets cleared out. And so the next issue we had, and I'm highlighting it here, was a vulnerability with advanced custom fields. If you had this plugin installed, we already fixed it, and it was pretty major, so we spent some time. And before we can update plugins, we kind of have to make sure that when we do update, something doesn't break elsewhere. And most of our advanced websites, most of them like e-commerce, maybe a custom app, or maybe a custom directory catalog kind of thing, those will typically have an advanced custom fields plugin. But again, behind the scenes, you would not have noticed it, but we've already been in there, backed it up, updated the plugin, and made sure that nothing was happening. The next was a huge Beaver Builder update. Beaver Builder is kind of the, it's not the foundation. WordPress is your foundation to your website. Beaver Builder tends to be kind of, if you had an interior designer in your house, they were putting in the tubs and the curtains and all that. Think of it, that's how Beaver Builder is. That's our interior design of your website. It is also, on the technical side, it allows us to build very gorgeous sites very quickly, but also with a lot of flexibility. And I also like being able to hand it off to customers because it's very what they call WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. And visually, when you open it up, it is the page that you want to update, and you can move things around, delete, hide. It's very, very flexible. So I thought I'd just kind of show you real quick because it's hard to visualize what Beaver Builder can do for some people. But I thought I've got to update my case studies really quick. So because I want to reorganize kind of where some of these are showing. So I'm logged in, I hit Beaver Builder up on the top here, and I hit my case studies page. What I mean by WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get, is when it refreshes, the page still looks like the page that I was on. And the only thing different now is when I scroll around, you can see the borders are highlighted, and I can physically move, literally move whole sections up and down, right, if I wanted to. And to me, it's really fun, but I can now kind of move whole sections in here and kind of delete myself if I want. You probably would, there's some advanced stuff inside Beaver Builder that you would probably need our help with, but overall, it's very user-friendly. You can update and tweak and change, and it's very, very, very helpful. But anyway, I thought I would just show you really quick. So back to the care plans. But it looked like they had a major, major update to their software, their theme, really. It's a theme as well as a plugin. And before we could really update that, we had to double check it because it was a big update. And there was a lot of new features, but a lot of security fixes. And again, if we click here, let's see. Yeah, it was Beaver Builder 2.7. A lot of updates to the admin side, and they kind of cleaned up the navigation. They added more organization abilities to saved modules. Maybe it's a module that you might use over and over again, and there's ways to categorize it and find it a little easier. So, but before we could do that, we had to kind of wait for the next iteration because we noticed it was breaking sites. The next is Astra theme. Again, Astra theme, it works with Beaver Builder in conjunction. It is we have what we call a parent theme. It would be the Astra theme, and then we create child themes underneath that so that we can make design updates without updating the parent theme. The parent theme tends to be the thinking of a house remodeling. It is the I would call it your plumbing and your heating vacs inside the house, right? It's framing up the house inside. It allows you to have water. It allows you to heat your house. It allows, all of those things to house livable, but that would be the theme. And then maybe a child theme comes in and lays down the floor. We've got pretty windows with nice edgings around, but essentially anybody can come in. I can rip out all that, make it look like a completely different house, but the plumbing stays, the HVAC stays, everything remains the same. I've just taken out the child theme or the decorations out. So kind of think of it that way. But they also had a really big update, lots of security and bug fixes. Again, we updated it behind the scenes and made some changes. Then SEOPress gave us some problems. That is our chosen tool for SEO and kind of advanced SEO on-site search engine optimization, technical stuff. And apparently when they made an update, it broke other things. So we had to go back, revert back, wait for the next iteration of the plugin, and then update. But it was a bit of an issue on that one. We had to, like it says here, we had to carefully go back and update website by website. It was just a quick update I wanted to share with you. Again, always what we're doing in the background, always updating and improving and making sure that the site's performing well. But thanks so much for your time, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.